hands shake a little when I hold this cup, but not from weakness. No, it's from the excitement of finally being able to share this secret with you. I'm 95 years old today. Not 94, not 93 anymore. 95. And you want to know the most incredible truth about my life? I haven't taken a single pill in over 40 years. Not one. No blood pressure medications, no cholesterol drugs, no pain relievers, no sleeping pills. Nothing. My doctor looks at my blood work and just shakes his head in disbelief. How is this possible? He asks me every single time. And I always smile because I know exactly how it's possible. It's sitting right here in this cup. It's growing in my backyard. It's been growing in backyards everywhere for thousands of years. And most people just pull it out and throw it away. When I was 55 years old, everything changed for me. That was the year my life could have ended very differently. I remember standing in my doctor's office in 1984, looking at test results that seemed to seal my fate. My blood pressure was dangerously high. My cholesterol was through the roof. My kidneys were showing early signs of damage. The doctor wrote out prescription after prescription, and I felt the weight of chemical dependency descending on me like a heavy fog. He told me I would need these medications for the rest of my life. You'll need to adjust to taking pills every morning and every night, he said. This is just how it is when you get older. I walked out of that office feeling like I was entering a prison sentence, not a treatment plan, but something inside me rebelled against that fate. You see, I grew up in a different time, in a different world. My grandmother was a woman who knew things, real things, things about plants and healing that modern medicine had simply forgotten. She lived to be 98 years old without ever seeing a doctor, not because she was afraid, but because she never needed to. I watched her garden when I was just a boy, and she would show me the plants that could heal, the ones that could save your life. Most people thought she was crazy. My parents thought she was old-fashioned. But I remembered, standing in that doctor's office at 55, with my body failing me, I finally understood what she had been trying to teach me all along. So I made a choice that day, not because I didn't trust modern medicine, but because I trusted something deeper. I trusted nature. I trusted that the earth had given us everything we needed. I went home and I started creating something that my grandmother had taught me about. It was a tea. A simple, powerful tea made from 4 specific plants that grow like weeds in backyards across the entire world. And I started drinking it every single day. The first plant is dandelion. Now, most people see dandelion as an enemy. They spray chemicals on their lawns to kill it. But dandelion is one of the most powerful healing plants on this earth. When I was a boy, my grandmother would show me the leaves, and she would say, "This one cleans your blood, my dear child. It makes your whole body new again. The leaves are bitter, yes, but that bitterness is the medicine. That bitterness comes from compounds that help your liver work better, that help your kidneys filter your blood. I use the leaves from dandelion plants that have never been sprayed with anything. I pick them carefully, dry them gently, and they become the foundation of my daily tea." The second plant is plantain. This is different from the banana we eat. This is a green plant with wide leaves that grows everywhere. It's so common that people step on it without even noticing. But plantain is incredible for healing. My grandmother used it for wounds, for infections, for inflammation. When you drink it as a tea, it works inside your body like a gentle healer. It helps reduce inflammation in your blood vessels, in your organs, everywhere. It's like having a doctor inside your own cup, working quietly while you sleep, while you work, while you live your life. The third plant is nettle, and I know what you're thinking because I thought it too when I first started. Nettle stings you. Why would you want to drink something that stings you? But once you dry the nettle leaves, they lose their sting and become one of the most nutritious plants in the world. Nettle is full of minerals that your body is desperately hungry for. Iron, calcium, magnesium, potassium. These are the minerals that your heart needs to beat strongly, that your blood needs to flow properly, that your bones need to stay strong. When I was 55 and my body was weak, nettle gave me back my minerals. It gave me energy I thought I had lost forever. The fourth plant is mullein. This beautiful plant with soft, fuzzy leaves that look almost like velvet. Mullein is special because it opens your lungs and helps you breathe better. You see, when your lungs are strong, your whole body is stronger. Your blood gets more oxygen. Your heart doesn't have to work so hard. Your brain thinks clearer. Mullein is like having a master key that unlocks so many doors in your body. When I started drinking this tea 40 years ago, I didn't expect anything magical. I didn't think that one day I would stop taking all my medications. I was taking 7 different pills a day back then. 7. My nightstand looked like a pharmacy, but I made a commitment to myself. I would drink this tea every single morning, and I would give my body a chance to heal itself. The first 3 months were the hardest. My body was confused. It was used to chemicals. It was used to medications. When I stopped taking them and started taking the tea instead, my body had to remember how to heal itself. I felt tired sometimes. I had headaches occasionally. But my grandmother had warned me about this. She called it the healing crisis. She told me that when you stop poisoning your body and start healing it, sometimes your body has to clean itself out first. I pushed through those 3 months because I trusted in the wisdom I had learned. By month 4, something miraculous started to happen. My energy began to return. Not the artificial jittery energy from medications, but real deep energy that came from inside me. My blood pressure started dropping. My doctor at first thought it was an error in the machine. Then he rechecked it, and rechecked it again. He asked me what I had changed. I told him about the tea, about the plants, about my commitment to healing naturally. He looked skeptical, but he couldn't argue with the numbers. Over the next 2 years, I was able to stop taking all 7 medications. One by one, my body showed that it didn't need them anymore. My blood pressure normalized. My cholesterol came down without chemicals. My kidneys started healing. My doctor was amazed, but more importantly, I was free. Free from the fear of being dependent on pharmaceuticals for the rest of my life. Free from worrying about side effects. Free from the cost of medications. But most importantly, free to feel alive in my own body again. Now, I want to be very clear about something. I'm not telling you to stop taking prescribed medications. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm telling you is that if you're interested in prevention, if you're interested in supporting your body's natural healing abilities, this tea is incredible. I know people who drink it alongside their medications, and their doctors are amazed at how well they are doing. I know people who have used it to recover and eventually reduce their medications under their doctor's supervision. And I am living proof that a body can thrive without pills when it's given what it truly needs. The way I make the tea is simple, and this is important. Simplicity is part of the power. I go out to my garden or to a wild place where these plants grow untouched by chemicals. I harvest the leaves during the time when they are most potent. Dandelion leaves are best picked in spring or fall. Plantain can be harvested almost any time. Nettle is strongest in spring and early summer. Mullein is wonderful in late summer. I pick a small handful of each and I dry them in a warm, dark place. Once they are dry, I store them in glass jars. Every single morning, I put about a teaspoon of each dried plant into a pot of clean, pure water. I let it simmer for about 10 minutes. Not boiling hard, but just a gentle, quiet simmer. This allows all the medicine from the plants to come into the water. I pour it into my cup, and I drink it slowly while it's still warm. Sometimes I add a little local honey, which also has healing properties. That's it. That's the entire ritual. It takes me maybe 15 minutes from start to finish. What I love most about this daily ritual is that it has become sacred to me. Every morning I stand in my kitchen, and I remember my grandmother. I remember her teaching me about these plants. I remember her saying, "The earth gives us everything we need. We just have to know where to look." As I drink the tea, I feel connected to thousands of years of human wisdom. I feel connected to the plants themselves, to the seasons, to the cycle of life. And I feel my body healing, strengthening, becoming more resilient. But the real miracle isn't just about me staying healthy. The real miracle is what I've been able to do with these extra decades of life. I'm 95 years old and I'm still here. I've been able to watch my great-grandchildren grow up. I've been able to teach them what my grandmother taught me. Just last month I showed my youngest great-grandchild how to recognize dandelion in her backyard. She's only 7 years old, but I see the light in her eyes when she understands that the plant everyone wants to kill is actually a healer. I see her learning that there is wisdom in nature, that her body is intelligent, that healing is possible. Over the decades of drinking this tea, I've noticed something fascinating. My mind has stayed sharp. My memory is still strong. People are always shocked when they find out my age, because I move with energy and my mind works quickly. I believe this is directly connected to the tea. When you give your body what it truly needs, when you're not poisoning it with unnecessary chemicals, your mind becomes clearer, your spirit becomes lighter, your whole experience of being alive changes. I've also noticed that I get sick very rarely. I've never had the flu. I haven't had a cold in nearly 20 years. My immune system is incredibly strong. This makes sense to me because all 4 of these plants have immune-boosting properties. Dandelion supports your liver, and your liver is essential for fighting infection. Plantain has natural antimicrobial properties. Nettle gives your body the nutrients it needs to fight off illness. Mullein helps your respiratory system stay strong and clear. Together, they create a fortress of health inside your body. One of my children asked me last year, "Dad, aren't you ever afraid that one day this tea won't work anymore? That you'll get sick?" And I smiled because I finally understood something that took me 40 years to truly grasp. The tea isn't a magic potion. The magic isn't in the tea. The magic is in what the tea represents. It represents my commitment to honoring my body. It represents my choice to work with nature instead of against it. It represents my decision to trust something deeper than fear. You see, as I've gotten older and watched so many of my friends struggle with medications and health issues, I've realized that health isn't really about the pills you take or don't take. Health is about how you live. It's about respect for your body. It's about nourishing yourself well. It's about moving your body and keeping it strong. It's about managing stress and finding peace. The tea is just one part of a bigger philosophy of living well. I still walk 3 miles every single day. I still work in my garden. I still do exercises that keep my muscles strong. I eat simple, whole foods that my grandmother would recognize. I sleep well because my body isn't filled with chemicals keeping me wired. I laugh often and love deeply. I spend time in nature. I read books and learn new things. This is the real secret to my health. The tea is just the foundation, the daily reminder to myself that I choose life. I choose healing. I choose to work with my body instead of against it. I think about the young people watching this, and I want to tell them something that breaks my heart a little bit. I see young people already living like they are old. They are stressed and anxious and tired at 25 years old. I see children on medications that I didn't even know existed. I see people disconnected from nature, not knowing what's edible, not knowing what grows around them. And I wonder what kind of lives they will have when they reach my age. But then I think about my great-grandchildren, and I feel hope, because the secret isn't hidden. It's not expensive. It's not complex. It's growing right there in your backyard. It's been there the whole time. The knowledge is available to anyone who wants it. The commitment is simple. The results are extraordinary. And the best part is that it's never too late to start. I know people who have started this practice at 70, at 80, at 90 years old, and they still saw amazing improvements in their health. So if you take anything from my 95 years of living, let it be this. Your body is incredibly wise and incredibly resilient. Given the right tools, given the right nutrition, given the right support, your body can heal itself. The ancient knowledge that my grandmother carried is still valid. The plants are still growing. The tea is still powerful. And your life, your precious, beautiful life, is worth protecting with everything you've got. I think about mortality sometimes, as someone my age naturally does. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm not afraid of leaving this world, but I do want to leave something behind. I want my great-grandchildren to know how to heal themselves. I want you watching this to know that there is an alternative to the path I was on at 55. I want to pass on this wisdom so that it doesn't die with me or with my generation. This is why I'm sharing this with you now. I know my time in this world is limited. I don't know if I'll live to be 100. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But what I do know is that as long as I'm here, I want to pour this knowledge into the world. I want young people to know their power. I want people struggling with health issues to know they have choices. I want families to reclaim the wisdom that was stolen from them by modern busyness and consumerism. The legacy I want to leave isn't measured in money or possessions. It's measured in knowledge passed down. It's measured in great-grandchildren who know the difference between a weed and a healer. It's measured in people who take charge of their own health and become strong. It's measured in a world where people remember that they are part of nature, not separate from it. So my final message to you, as I sit here at 95 years old, still strong, still healthy, still full of life, is this. You have everything you need to heal yourself growing right around you. You have the wisdom of thousands of years available to you. You have a body that wants to be healthy, and you have the power to choose a different path than the one that society wants to put you on. Start small. Pick one of these 4 plants. Learn to recognize it. Learn to harvest it safely. Make the tea. Drink it with intention. Feel your body starting to remember what health feels like. Share this knowledge with someone you love. Pass it forward. Keep this wisdom alive for the next generation. I won't be here forever, but the plants will be. The knowledge will be. And if you act on what I've shared with you today, You'll be passing something invaluable to your children and grandchildren. That's the real gift. That's the real medicine. Thank you for listening to an old man's story. Thank you for letting me share my life with you. If this resonated with you, if you feel even a spark of the hope I'm feeling, then I'm asking you to do something very simple. Subscribe to this channel so we can keep sharing this old wisdom together. There are so many more secrets I want to tell you. There are so many stories and lessons and practical advice that I want to pass along before my time comes. Help me keep this knowledge alive. Help me reach more people who are ready to take control of their health and their lives. Subscribe so that the wisdom of the ages doesn't get lost in our modern world. Subscribe so that your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren can access this information whenever they need it. I'm 95 years old, and I've lived a long, healthy, beautiful life. And I want that for you too. I want you to reach my age full of health and full of joy, and full of the knowledge that you chose well, that you listened to your body, that you worked with nature instead of against it. So here's to the plants in your backyard. Here's to the wisdom of the ages. Here's to your health and to your future. And here's to the next generation that will learn from what we pass down today. Thank you for being here. Thank you for caring enough about your health to listen to an old man's truth. Now go find those 4 plants and let your healing begin.